Men lie, women lie, but one thing that doesn't lie are numbers, and you guys seem to really enjoy these Nintendo Switch eShop sale videos. I didn't plan on making them a staple of the channel, but maybe I will because they've been getting some really great views. And today we have yet another Nintendo Switch eShop sale video, but I decided to go a little bit different with this. This is going to be an all-killer, no-filler edition. These are the best of the best games that are available on the Nintendo Switch eShop on sale right now that you definitely need to be having on your radar, and you probably should pick up as well. What's up guys, I'm RGT85. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about the best Nintendo Switch eShop sales going on right now. So kicking things off, we have 4 games coming to us from Bethesda, all at really great prices, and I highly recommend you pick up every one of these games. The first 2 games are Doom 1 and Doom 2. Now these games are available for just $1.49, and of course, Doom is pretty much the granddaddy of first-person shooters. Yeah, Wolfenstein 3D was first, but Doom really just sort of elevated it to a whole nother level. Doom, of course, was the game that made PC gamers become sort of a thing. You know, PC gamers were able to play this awesome first-person shooter called Doom, and console gamers were like, we want to play this too. And of course various ports came out on consoles throughout the years, but none of them really encapsulated how great the original Doom was. I did not have a computer at the time of Doom's release. I actually played it over at a friend's house, and I was just absolutely blown away by this game. Of course, there's so much history with these Doom games, and to see them available for just $1.49 is absolutely awesome. I picked these up at full price when they came out, and I had no regrets about it. Since the initial release of these games, Bethesda has actually improved these versions of the game as well. They all now run at 60 frames per second, so if you've never checked out the original Doom games, you definitely should, and these 2 games are just great prices. Next up, we have Doom 3 available for just $2.99, which is that's ridiculous. Buy that game now. Look, Doom 3 when it first came out was a bit of a controversial game because much like Resident Evil 4, Doom 3 really sort of changed what Doom was all about. Doom was known for fast-paced first-person shooting, and Doom 3 was essentially a survival horror game. They really changed up the formula of this game, much like Resident Evil 4 changed up the formula of the Resident Evil series. But Doom 3 is a fantastic survival horror game. It relies more on atmosphere and jump scares, more so than just, you know, blazing through various demons and blasting through different demons and stuff. Doom 3 runs absolutely phenomenal on the Nintendo Switch as well. Whether you're playing it in handheld mode or docked mode, it's an absolute hidden gem of a game that a lot of people are starting to appreciate in the modern era more so than they did in the past, just because of how different it was. But at $2.99, like I said, an absolute steal. And the final game is Doom 2016, which released in 2017 on the Nintendo Switch for just $29.99. Now I absolutely love this version of Doom. I played it on the PS4, I loved it. I picked it up on the Nintendo Switch, I played it more, and I absolutely loved it. There's a great online component to the game as well. They've done a really good job with the visuals in this game. There's actually been subsequent visual improvement patches that have come along. Just a phenomenal first-person shooter, and really a game that you wouldn't think would be able to run so smoothly on the Nintendo Switch, and it runs so smoothly on the Nintendo Switch. So these 4 games are just absolute bangers. I recommend picking up all of them, but if you only get one of them, definitely get Doom 3. That's a game that's just so under the radar for so many people, and it's definitely a game worth checking out. Next up, we have Origami Shadow Edition for the Nintendo Switch for just $14.99. Now, I really like this game. I'm surprised this game didn't seem to do better on the Nintendo Switch because ninja games obviously are a very popular thing, but a lot of ninja games seem to be going with the more Dark Souls route, which is cool if you like that sort of stuff, but I miss the original sort of ninja games, you know, based on things like Tenchu, which was an awesome PS1 series that really just sort of fizzled out over the years. But Origami Shadow Edition is definitely a lot more like Tenchu. It relies more on stealth, more so than just going in and trying to figure out enemy patterns and things like that, or just going in, you know, sort of swords blazing. I think the Nintendo Switch version of Origami is a fantastic game. I enjoyed my time with this game. I really enjoyed the mechanics of the game as well, and it has some really beautiful visuals. This is a game that's sort of a Nintendo Switch hidden gem. Not a lot of people talked about it when it came out. Not a lot of people have talked about it since, but at $15, I think it's an absolute steal at that price, and a really good game if you like sort of stealth games or old school ninja games. Next up is a game called Vaccine that is available on the Nintendo Switch eShop right now for just $4.99. And if you're a fan of old school Resident Evil games, I definitely recommend Vaccine. I really enjoyed this game. It's sort of unique in the fact that the layout of the game changes every time you play the game. So enemies will be in different places every time you play the game, which makes the game just kind of unique. Puzzle elements are also changed as well, so it has a lot of variables going into it. It has that fixed Resident Evil camera system as well. It sort of is just a Resident Evil homage, but I really enjoyed this game. It's fun to play through it several times to get the true endings of the game as well. So it's a really fun game. If you like that sort of fixed camera angle, Resident Evil style of gameplay, you're going to enjoy Vaccine. And at $4.99, it's definitely worth checking out. Next up, we have FIFA 2020 Legacy Edition for the Switch, which was a game that I really didn't want to see come out on the Nintendo Switch. It was essentially FIFA 19 with just a roster update that EA decided to release on the Nintendo Switch for $50, which I find to be absolutely ridiculous. But right now it's on sale for just $24.99, and I feel like that's a much better price point. I think if this game would have released at $30 brand new for the Nintendo Switch, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal to see this roster update. But at $25, I think that's very reasonable, especially if you're a big soccer or football fan and you want to have those updated rosters in the game. The gameplay is still really good. FIFA 19 was a solid game, so FIFA 2020 on the Switch is going to be a solid game as well, but it was the price that really turned me off on this game. But for $25, if you're a fan of soccer games, I think it's worth checking out. Next up, we have Monster Hunter Generations on the Nintendo Switch, available for just $19.99. This is actually the cheapest I've ever seen this game, and it is a fantastic game. Yes, it is a port of a 3DS game, but the visuals have been improved, and I think there's some quality of life improvements in the game as well. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate is going to give you hundreds of hours of gameplay time if you enjoy the Monster Hunter series. It's really fun to play the game online. I think there's a ton of different customization options. Some of the monsters you battle are really cool in this game as well. It's just a traditional classic Monster Hunter experience that maybe if you haven't played it to death on the 3DS would be worth checking out on the Nintendo Switch. I'm pretty sure I did a full review of this game and I absolutely loved it, and I actually played the 3DS version prior to this, but I still had a lot of fun with this version of the game. For just $20, it's definitely a game worth checking out. The next game was one of my favorite games of 2019, even though it was a remaster, and that is of course Ghostbusters the video game remastered, which is available for just $17.99 on the Switch eShop right now. Now this game has been on sale for a while on the Switch eShop, but every time I see it, I'm going to talk about it because I absolutely love this game. It is essentially the third Ghostbusters movie with all of the original cast reprising their roles. The graphics look absolutely awesome. The environments you go in are just so much fun, destroying different things. There's lots of hidden things in the levels as well if you want to play through the game again. It's about an 8 to 10 hour experience, but you're going to have an absolute blast with this game playing it. If you have any sort of nostalgia for the Ghostbusters, or maybe you're just curious because of the new Ghostbusters film that's coming out, I highly recommend this game. The next game was a game that I wasn't quite sure if I was going to include it in this list, just because it does have some performance issues, but at the price point it's at, I think it's worth checking out, and that is Saints Row 3, the full package. Now, we reviewed Saints Row 3 last year on the channel. We got really in-depth with it, but there were definitely some performance issues with the Nintendo Switch version of the game that sort of held it back. There have been subsequent patches, and I actually haven't checked it out since the latest patch that was released for this game, but still, if you're a fan of open-world GTA-style games, you don't really have many options on the Nintendo Switch. Of course, Saints Row 4 is coming out in March, but as of right now, there's not many games like this on the Switch, and I think at $20, you're going to have some fun. If you go into the game with the mindset that, yes, there's going to be some frame rate drops and things like that, I still think you're going to have a lot of fun with this game, and there's a lot of different things you could do, a ton of different customization options, so many crazy weapons, so many over-the-top things, and you can play with a friend online as well. So for $20, I decided to include it in this list, but do go into this game knowing that there will be some performance issues. Next up, we have 3 Sega games that I wanted to highlight very quickly. This sale will end on February 28th. I'm uploading this video on February 26th, so make sure you guys take advantage of these games if you decide to do so. But the 3 games are as follows. The first game is Sonic Mania, available for just $9.99. I own Sonic Mania. I own Sonic Mania Plus. If you are a fan of old school Sonic the Hedgehog games and you loved games like Sonic 2 or Sonic CD, Sonic Mania should already be in your collection. But if for some reason it's not in your collection, this is definitely a great price point to get it at. You're going to have a ton of fun with this game. Very creative levels, awesome music, just an absolutely fantastic game. The next game may come as a bit of a surprise to you, but that is Sonic Forces, available for $9.99. Now look, I know Sonic Forces isn't a great game, and a lot of people might not even say it's a good game, but I think it is a solid Sonic game at the end of the day. I paid $40 for this game when it came out, and you know what? I didn't hate it. It's a mediocre game, a 6-ish sort of thing, maybe even a low 7, but if you go into this game with the mindset that it is a modern Sonic, and it's going to have those modern Sonic nuances, and you're thinking, you know, it's only $10, it's definitely worth checking out. I definitely had a lot of fun with this game. I think people are just too hard on this game because it's fun to bash newer Sonic the Hedgehog games, but Sonic Forces at $9.99. If you haven't checked it out and you're a fan of Sonic, now is the time to do it. It's just $10. That's like 10 Burger King tacos. And the final game from Sega is Mario and Sonic at the Olympics 2020, available for just $40. Now, this game is actually a lot of fun. I got a copy of this game. I had fun playing it. Yes, some of the mini games are a bit dumbed down, I feel, but it's cool to do things like skateboard with Sonic and his friends. Some of the events are really fun. The story mode is a bit kind of weird as you're going back and forth in time, but I like the 8-bit and 16-bit retro aesthetic that some of the events have as well. There's online play as well, and it's just a fun, solid game. You know, it's not a revolutionary game. If you don't like the mini games that you're going to be playing, you're probably not going to like the game, but I think the mini game variety makes it really good. There's a whole bunch of stuff like your traditional Olympic events, there's skateboarding, there's surfing as well, so a fun game overall, and especially if you have friends to play it with in local or online multiplayer, it's a solid game at $40. And the final two games are available in the NIS America sale. This sale will be going on until March 1st. The first game, your mileage will vary on it. If you don't like retro games, you probably won't like this. But the second game is arguably one of the best games on this list and an absolute must-own in my opinion. The first game is, of course, the SNK 40th Anniversary Collection. Now, the SNK games, I'm not really super familiar with them. I remember reviewing this, and I thought it was a decent collection. It was $40 when it originally released. Well, right now it's on sale on the Nintendo Switch eShop for just $19.99. Some pretty good game variety in here. If you're not sort of into retro games, like I said, your mileage is going to vary with how much enjoyment you have with these games, but if you are a retro fan, like I know a lot of you guys are, you'll definitely want to check out this game. And the final game on this list is a game that hardly ever goes on sale. Honestly, I've been waiting to pick up a physical copy of this game because I love it so much, but it's always like $59.99, and that is Ys 8. Ys 8 is on sale right now for just $29.99, and honestly, it's probably one of my top 3 Nintendo Switch RPG games. I absolutely love this game, and it really comes down to the combat in the game. It plays very similar to a game like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, but what I really enjoy about this game is the real-time combat, being able to switch out your characters, do these huge special moves as well. The story is very interesting as well. There's lots of plot twists and crazy stuff that happens. Some of these monsters that you battle are just absolutely huge and awesome. It's just such a fun game, and it's a game that I think more people should be checking out. If you're a fan of games like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there's absolutely no reason for you not to pick up Ys 8, and you might even end up being like me and like Ys 8 a bit more than you like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 just because of the awesome combat in the game. Alright, so like I said, this video was all killer, no filler. All of these games are RGT stamp of approval, absolutely fantastic games, and games that you're going to have a lot of fun playing. But unfortunately, this will probably be the last Nintendo Switch eShop sale video I do, because there's a couple people online who don't like these videos and they say mean things about them. No, I'm just kidding. I make whatever videos I want to because I like having fun on this channel. It's a variety channel. Get over it. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.